Hi, everyone. Hi, I am Carla Sanders, the Cosmic Crone, and I am thrilled to be here with you. It is a gorgeous, sunny, and freezing day in March, springtime in Maine. We've had snow, we've had wind, we've had ice, we've had frost. 19 degrees this morning. And that doesn't stop it from being Aries, and this new moon in Aries is the official beginning of the new year. We are starting the new cycle. And I'm going to show you the chart. Look at this chart. There's like 3 lines on this chart, 4 if you count the dotted line. And notice where the planets are. Over here, Pluto in the first house, all these planets all the way to Algol, the end of Taurus. That's practically everything. There's like 5 random spots that aren't in there. Well, this is the new moon reading in Aries, and the new moon is happening at 2:25 a.m. Friday morning, and that is about 3.5 days from now. So you have time to prepare. This is a celebratory new moon. We've got the fire of Aries, the sun and the moon together. It's new year. It is a new season, whether it's spring for you or fall for you, depending on where on this beautiful earth you live. And I want you to just take that in. This is thinking about celebrating existence, celebrating new birth, the beginning of the astrological year. The initiate. Aries is the initiate, the one who is starting his journey. One thinks of the Fool in the Tarot, the 0 card in the major arcana. And Aries is kind of like that. Young, fiery, passionate, very much of the heart. I don't have in front of me, I don't have at my fingertips what body parts all the different signs stand for. I know Leo, I think, might be the heart, but let's not go there. I just know that in the energy of the medicine wheel that I work with, the heart is the passionate, fiery energy and so we've got Aries carrying that energy of youth. Ruled by Mars, and Mars figures big in this reading. And the moon is flanked by Mercury and Chiron. So the sun and the moon, the merging of our identity and our emotions, where we can sink within. The moon disappears in the light of the sun, and our emotions, our intuition, our identity as a feeling cosmic being descends deep into our body. And we are at this particular moon at 11 Aries, 11:31. I'm thinking of how much time Chiron spent at 11 Aries. It had a retrograde sequence over 11 Aries, and now it's still very close, less than a degree away at 12 Aries, and Mercury is at 9, so that Mercury is moving to merge with the sun. So we've got electricity, communication, speed, language, the power of the word, and the messenger. Not necessarily the message. And Chiron is the healer, the mentor. There is a sternness and a groundedness to Chiron. He does not suffer fools. He showing up in Aries. Chiron's had been in Aries for a long time, so he is here while this in Aries, mentoring this Aries energy, maturing, showing the ropes, teaching all of us planet-wide how to work with Aries energy. Youth, passion, ruled by Mars, so it's also warrior energy, and it's kind of like the warrior energy that in the draft, I came of age during the Vietnam War era, and there was a draft, and who were they drafting? 18 to 25-year-olds, males who did not even have fully developed brains yet. But the real warriors are the ones who have survived battle, who have learned strategy, who have become officers, generals, and leaders, and ultimately the protectors and defenders. And you've heard me teach before, the sacred masculine, the warrior, masculine warrior energy is about serving the divine feminine, protecting the women who are doing their medicine. Look at this painting back here. At the four corners, there are male figures, warriors with drawn swords, and they are keeping that space clean for the women to raise that cone of power and send their magic and medicine and healing energy out into the world. And so that is, Aries is learning how to be that person, how to carry that energy. And he's probably going to make some mistakes. And he may even make a fool of himself, herself. But this is the new moon. And this is the time where we celebrate those new beginnings and we forgive in advance the mistakes that we make on the way to self-actualization and maturity and the wisdom that Chiron is bringing us. Interestingly enough, also, not too far away, Pallas Athene is at 17 Aries, and she stands for wisdom, head wisdom, wisdom in the mind, in the brain, of the intellect, strategy, wisdom that plans and achieves and accomplishes things. And we all know that wisdom is more than just what's in your mind. Wisdom is embodied, just like the brain, the mind is embodied. It isn't just right here. But Pallas Athene is the patroness, the patron goddess of the warrior, and she plans out the battle. And as Aries new moon people, young people working with this initiate's energy, we look to Chiron for deep grounded wisdom and discipline, and we look to Pallas Athene to show us how to do it. What's our next step? What is the battle plan? What is the strategy? So I'm looking to see, well, it happens that Pallas Athene has just completed an exact square to Mars. Mars is moving on, and Pallas Athene is moving, but a little more slowly. So, but they're still in a place of communicating with each other in the square. And that square says the warrior and the strategic goddess have some locked energy. They are perhaps not seeing eye to eye. Mars is in Aquarius. He has just really, he's completed the conjunction with Venus. He is sated with love and pleasure and connection, and now he's ready to go out and kill something. He's ready to go out and exercise his masculine energy to decide, discern, to capture and kill, and yes, to protect. You know, it's with a purpose. It's with a purpose. But he's kind of full of, what do the people need me to do now? And he's heading towards a conjunction with Saturn that is already in effect, and heading also towards a conjunction. He's probably going to catch up with Juno, so he's going to be doing her bidding. So Mars is really important. He is beginning to stand alone, and he's going to connect with Saturn to discover what is the structure that he is building. There's a level of why, there's a level of purpose there, there is a level of defending something bigger than himself. And that's what Saturn stands for. He stands for the container. Let's call it the sacred container. So what else is happening here? Well, one thing that's absolutely fascinating, and I want to make sure I talk about it, and it's been going on ever since Venus completed her second conjunction with Pluto and moved into Aquarius. And then Vesta had a conjunction with Pluto and moved into Aquarius. And what I began to notice that happened in early March, so just about the last moon cycle, and you notice all these planets, as we pointed out earlier. Well, there's a lot of planets in one part. And it's interesting where they happen to be. There's been a lot of energy in Pisces, and more energy is coming. All these personal planets, the sun and the moon and Mercury and all the minor planets just completed a sojourn in Pisces. And now Venus and Mars and Juno and Vesta will, over the next couple of months, find their way into Pisces. Pisces is the 12th house. It is the time of the deep dive, the time of dropping deep into wisdom, of going under the ocean. And it's underworld, but it's deeper than underworld. It is within the within. And when you go within the within, you come out the other side into the galactic and the cosmic. So Pisces is swimming in both of those realms. And right now, Nessus, Jupiter, and Neptune. Neptune and Jupiter are in a conjunction now, heading exact sometime next week, right after the new moon. And they are both rulers of Pisces. Jupiter was the ancient ruler. Neptune is the contemporary ruler. And so both of these planets are incredibly at home, and they are stirring up Pisces energy. It's like going down. Think of whales. I have heard it said that one of the functions that whales provide, especially the great whales, giant ones like the blue whales, is they dive down and they feed in the deeps, and then as they come up, they are creating currents and trails of nutrients and minerals and supplies that are in the ocean water, and bring it up towards the surface so that other creatures that live in the upper levels can benefit. Maybe it's the plankton and the krill that so much depends on, so much of life depends on. But that is one of the important roles of these massive, gigantic, deep diving beings. And so with Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces, we have all the blue whales all over the ocean diving and bringing up the wisdom from the deep so that it can come into our consciousness. And Neptune is well known for obscuring as much as he reveals. He dips into the dreams, the surreal images of dream time, the things that are seen dimly through a veil or through the fog. And in a sense, he forces us to know what we know without needing to know. And that is a deeper wisdom. That is a deeper truth. And when we are not taking that deep dive with the blue whales and rising up with the deep wisdom minerals and nutrients from the lower reaches of the ocean, we are at the mercy of storms and waves and ripples and garbage and boats and other things that are on the surface that are distractions and possibly even dangers. And then Jupiter, he's all about abundance. Jupiter, we think of Jupiter, he's bright, he's shining, he's easy to see. Right now he's too close to the sun, but soon, by the full moon, we'll probably be able to see him in the early morning light as he begins to rise, a solid hour before the sun does. And it's easy just to think of him as, bring me all the good stuff. Bring me the presents under the tree. But just like all of our other ancestors, Jupiter, he works when he has really interesting material to work with. Jupiter is much happier bringing you your deepest, bone deep, heart deep, womb deep, balls deep desires. When you know from your intimate and unshakable connection to divine what it is that you really want and what you're meant for and what you need to bring that forth and how much you're willing to expand and open up to receive it, and then what you're willing to make with it and give back. Jupiter looks for that, and he works best when those things are present. And when he's with Neptune, he is very much amplifying what is in the unconscious, what you don't know that you know, but you already know. And his great delight will be to bring that into awareness and to allow creation with it. It becomes a mystical variation of manifesting. And meanwhile, Nessus has been hanging out. He's right smack in the middle of Pisces now, 15 degrees Pisces. And he is the one who points out and brings out ancestral traumas. He's not in a super exciting aspect right now. He's still square the great attractor in Sagittarius and square Ceres. Okay, great attractor in Ceres. I hadn't really noted that one until looking at it right now. Ceres in Gemini is opposite the great attractor. So we have, it's another example of the as above, so below, as within, so without, because Ceres is the earth. It is the fruitful surface of the earth, the biosphere, the things that grow on the earth that feed us, and things that nourish us, body and soul. And the great attractor is this thing so far out in the universe, we don't even know what it is, but it is in relation to us. It is attracting our galaxy towards it. and it has a divine feminine vibration to it. So this is emphasizing the Jupiter, Neptune, Pisces, new moon, Aries, where we're going deep and we're shining bright all at once. And I believe that speaks to what the planet is doing right now at this particular couple or three moon cycles, where the vast majority of planets are being, it feels like they're being herded by Pluto, god of the underworld. He is standing there at the gates of the underworld, reminding us that there is more to us than what's on the surface, than our needs, our wants, our stuff, our attachment to our ego, our opinions. He's saying everything here is a trigger for transformation, if you let it be, if you're willing. And you never know when those triggers for transformation are just going to come up and grab you by the ankle and pull you down. That's one vision of how we see Persephone when she was presumably kidnapped by Hades, Pluto, to go into the underworld. Pluto is there to remind us of death. Death to our darlings, the things that we hold dear, the things that we cling to, that we will not let go unless forced. And that can be life itself, or that can be our belief systems, our sense of safety, our sense of we think we know what's going on, our sense of wanting to control existence, our own lives, as if we could. Pluto is right here. He's not exactly rising, but he is the first planet in this chart from the ascendant. And then he's followed by Chariklo, the healer, Chiron's wife, and Vesta, the priestess, and Mars, the warrior, and Saturn and Juno are in a conjunction in Aquarius. And this is a really important thing. I've been kind of preoccupied with things, so in some ways I almost let this slide. But here it is on this new moon chart, and it's happening now. It is actually right now, there is a triple conjunction. This very day, I looked up the chart of this morning at something like 6 a.m. And there's Saturn, Juno, and Venus all together within a degree of each other. Saturn and Juno this morning were at an exact conjunction. Looks like 21, 48, and 49. And Venus is at 22, 24. So Saturn and Juno are still at the new moon 3 days later. They're still together. Well, what does that tell us? What important message do they have? Well, Juno has been nagging me for a few weeks. I love her. I have always mentioned her because she stands for money, social justice, the sacred marriage, the initiation journey of women. She is so powerful, and she kind of takes every aspect of life and wraps it up and puts it in the cauldron and calls the other goddesses and says, let's make some magic. And right now she's with Saturn. So what's Saturn doing with Juno? What are they? The thing that immediately came was the image of the cauldron. Saturn is the container. He keeps things, he focuses the energy by making sure there is a wall around it, or the sides of the pot, or the energetic wheel. He also, he stands for structures, form, We associate Saturn with rules, laws, institutions, governments, the things that run by policies and procedures and laws. And thus, when we meet Saturn, we do this dance of cowering, tell me the rules so I don't get in trouble, and rebelling, like you can't tell me what to do, Saturn, god damn you. At our peril, we go there. But as an artist and a ceremonialist, I cannot help but see Saturn as the form which focuses our attention and creates an aesthetic and spiritual order. In a painting, for better or worse, a painting has form. Artwork has form, and a ritual has form, a beginning, middle, and end. Our existence has form, the below, the conscious, the above. And I feel, looking at Saturn and Juno together, I feel that Saturn is in a very supportive relationship. He understands what she stands for, and he is saying, if you pay attention to me and use me well, I can support you in fulfilling your mission. And as I'm saying these words, I am remembering that my natal Saturn and Juno are conjunct. Juno's in the 12th house, Saturn is on the ascendant. They are both straddling my ascendant in Scorpio, 3 degrees apart, less than 3 degrees apart. So I think I am tuning into this. I believe Saturn and Juno are working inside of me now, and I am working on a creation. So I'm going to tap into them and say, how would you help me? How can you help me make it the best and most effective and most powerful that it can be? So we've talked a lot about masculine energy and the masculine planets, more than I usually do. What does it mean that Venus at this moment is conjunct Saturn? She is applying beauty and sensuality and ease, joy, flow, and success. So while they're all together, I'm going to finish my project. And you can too. You have this energy available to you as well. So is there something you've been working on? If there's something you've been avoiding working on, then please pull out your stuff, get your materials together, and get moving, get it done. And if it's something that is a long-range project, initiate it now. New moon in Aries and this beautiful energy of Saturn, Juno, and Venus, and Mars. He's got their flank. He'll be there in a minute. He's going to be with Saturn, with Juno. He's already been with Venus. He won't catch up to her for a long time yet, a couple of years, in Aquarius again. And what else do we have here? Well, let's talk about who all is in Taurus. Well, it just so happens, Vesta is in Aquarius. She is at 10 degrees 00 as of the new moon. And she is in a flow to a conjunction. It's basically a triple conjunction, but it is particularly Hecate and Uranus, who are together in Taurus. Uranus is an incredibly spiritual planet. We think of him in terms of technology and fast-moving change that comes out of the blue, the lightning strike. But in reality, he also represents the spiritual epiphany, that moment of insight where all of a sudden things make sense. or everything you thought you knew was proven wrong, and absolute truth flashes into your consciousness. He is higher states of consciousness. And Hecate is grounded. She is of the earth. She is of the underworld. She goes back and forth between the underworld and the earth. She conducts people. She's at the crossroads, and this is in many ways a metaphoric crossroad. When we are faced with decision, she is there. And it never feels like she's saying, go this or go that. She is holding space for our free will decision. And she's also may, if she's feeling merciful, point out to us the consequences of not making a decision or of turning around and going back. And I suppose in some situations, backing off and turning around the way you came, saying later for this or never for this, it might be the right decision. But typically, this life is always drawing us forward, and it is full of crossroads and winding roads and false paths and true paths and wide paths and narrow paths, deep paths. And Hecate stands there and says, choose, decide, grow a backbone and decide. And know your facts and face the truth. Don't waste your energy being in denial. This is a hard one. This is a really hard one. Sometimes the difficult truths, and sometimes that's an illusion. Making a decision looks like a difficult thing, a difficult choice. You have to weigh difficult alternatives. And if you choose one, you can't choose the others. And what if I make a mistake? Yeah, that's a thing. But most of that is the result of indecision. Most of our decisions, once they're made, are liberating, and they're easy. The difficulty is in the denial, the avoidance, the refusal. Who else is in Taurus? We have a very gorgeous, and this is actually exact to the minute today, this morning, the North Node and Lilith asteroid. Lilith asteroid stands for the disowned feminine within us. That part of us that we have taught to be ashamed of, that is not enough and not good enough, and that is, especially for female persons, it's the part of us that when we were born and they realized we were not guys, we didn't have penises, we were kind of channeled on the not enough track and the you can't do this track. And I wish I could say that that is not true anymore. And legally, in so many ways, it has changed. And yet, in the hearts and minds of human beings and the way people are socialized and the way people perceive their abilities and opportunities and their worth, it hasn't changed that much. So the North Node is saying, pay attention to this right now. We are wasting one of our most valuable resources. And I don't like what I just said. So let me see if I can say it a different way. Because we are not resources. We are and we aren't. We are gifts. We are geniuses. We are wasting as a society, as a world, as a patriarchy. We are wasting the genius, magic, and power of the feminine. And this is an energetic, an aspect of every human being, regardless of their gender or how they see themselves or who they know themselves to be. The feminine is considered not good enough, not right, not capable, a problem. And the North Node is saying, get over that now. Uplift the feminine. The beauty of when we begin to own the feminine inside of us, she's no longer disowned or disempowered. She immediately, wow, bursts forth, yes, I am here. You know, the only way she can make us suffer is if we are actively pressing her down, numbing her out, tying her up and gagging her and throwing her in the closet. I mean, if we treat her like that, there's nothing she can do. And she creates struggle inside of us. Because when we say, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, I acknowledge you, she bursts out. She is awake and alive, and she's saying, show me. Where's the medicine circle at? I've got a ritual to do. Where's the herbs at? I'm going to make some magic. Bring me all the elementals. Bring me somebody to love. Who needs healing? Who needs a good plan? Who needs a spanking? She'll do all that. And then our we have two planets that are they're still in a connection to Pluto. In fact, as of today and the full moon, Sedna's a real slow mover. So Sedna right now is communicating with Pluto. She's in a trine, and she is just outside, still conjunct, but just outside of this ring that is being held by Algol, the Lilith star, the dark feminine, the dark goddess. And Sedna is an oceanic goddess. She lives under the ocean. So she has Piscean qualities. And she is a goddess of beauty and love and abundance. She's kind of the Venus of the Inuit, but she's also the creatrix. She made everything. And she keeps the hunters safe, so she covers all the bases, and she lives at the bottom of the sea. And right now she's beside Algol. Algol is the dark goddess, also called Lilith star among the ancient Hebrews. And the dark goddess, she has been with us. She's almost always got something to say in the chart, especially this past year. She's just had the North Node. She's about to have the disowned feminine Lilith, that young, small, tiny, and super powerful Lilith. Well, imagine when that Lilith meets the dark goddess. What is going to happen inside of you, inside of all of us? The dark goddess is here. And she is demanding that we forget this idea of the demonized goddess, and get over our fear of looking at that, get over the lies that patriarchy told us that causes us to shake in fear, and say to her, I have an altar for you in my body. I honor you. I'm listening to you. Your time has come. How may I serve? And she will give you an instruction. And if you need some help with that, if that gives you the willies, I say, as terrifying as it is, meet her. Meet her. Do not avoid her or pretend she's not calling you or she isn't there, because she will kick your ass. And that's on a nice day, if she's in a good mood. She could do worse. So my invitation to you, her invitation to you, is to make that altar. Feel her in your body. Listen to her and do as she says. And in fact, ask, can I do a little more? It will go better if she's not having to go out hunting for you. She will bless you if you go looking for her. That is the new moon divine feminine astrology reading for Aries. And just when you're doing your new moon ritual, tune in to how much weight there is in 1/3 of the sky. And the way you'll see it is that if you're looking at the sun while the new moon is happening, if you're on that side of the world, everything will be, I think it will be most of it will be to your right. If you're looking at empty space because it's nighttime, it's 2 a.m, most everything will be to your left. Doesn't even matter. You can make it any way you want. It's just feel that collected energy. And if you want to know where this is landing in your natal chart, how it is affecting your life right now personally, and how it will guide your life going forward in the rest of the year, then please book the Divine Feminine Astrology reading with me. I am taking reservations now for April, and there aren't many spaces left. I think I have 4. I haven't looked to see if any of them have disappeared since the last time I looked. So I'll put the link in with the comments, and I hope to see you privately for a Divine Feminine Astrology session. Blessed new moon. Enjoy your life, no matter what.